The headlines. Solomon Islands has taken a decisive stance at the UN Summit of the Future, urging immediate financial reforms to advance the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The 7th Pacific Media Summit officially opens in a lofty new way. And Prime Minister Honorable Jeremiah Manele is scheduled to visit the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia. Hello, you're watching SIBC's TV News Bulletin. I'm Andrea Maahanwa. Solomon Islands has taken a decisive stance at the UN Summit of the Future, urging immediate financial reforms to advance the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. Alfred Pangepitu reports.
Solomon Islands has taken a decisive stance at the UN Summit of the Future, urging immediate financial reforms to advance the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. The Summit of the Future was held at the UN headquarters in New York. Speaking at the summit, Minister of National Planning and Development Coordination, Honorable Rexon Ramofafia, called for urgent reforms to the international financial system. He says Solomon Islands in July this year reported that its progress of achieving the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals was off track.
Solomon Island has relatively small and open economy, which makes us highly susceptible to extreme shocks. Our dispersed economic geography tightens the cost of connecting and bringing service to our people, so as the cost of domestic and international trade. We also challenge with twin disease burden of communicable and non-communicable disease. Mr. President, in July this year, Solomon Island reported through our second voluntary report that we are off track against the SDG as well as the objectives of our national development strategy. This underscores the importance of our decision yesterday on the path of the future. Mr. President, partnership and collaboration are indispensable to our development. However, we also recognize that we need meaningful.
Honorable Ramofafia says it is frustrating when finance for pressing issues such as climate change is processed in a manner that do not match the country's specific climate needs.
Mr. President, climate change remains a dividing issue for Solomon Island and the Pacific region. It is an external crisis that is already impacting us. Our ecosystem and ocean economy are risks from climate change. Weather extremes driven by climate change are already causing fatality and impacting our infrastructure, economic development, and indigenous culture. Mr. President, for those of us at the front line of climate change and sea level rise, it is frustrating to experience that climate finance is still being mobilized in modality with conditions that are not matched with climate change emergency we are confronting.
Developing countries over the years report that accessing funds through the international financial system is hard and at times near impossible. Alfred Pangepitu for SIBC TV.
The 7th Pacific Media Summit officially opens in Alofi new way. Eliza Kukutu reports from Alofi.
The 7th Pacific Media Summit officially convenes here at the scenic Matavai Resort in Alofi, Niue. More than 70 journalists and media practitioners around the region are attending the summit under the theme Charting a Resilient Future, Pacific Media Navigating Press Freedom, AI Disruptions and Geopolitical Interests.
Niue's Prime Minister Honorable Dalton Tangelangi acknowledged the attendance of delegates to the summit. He encouraged delegates to celebrate the achievement of the region's media through the discussions and deliberations.
The Pacific Islands News Association and the Niue Media Association have curated and exciting program featuring a distinguished lineup of regional and international speakers. These experts will lead dynamic discussions on three key focused areas, providing invaluable insights and strategies for Pacific media. Our vision in endorsing Niue as the host of this summit is twofold: to showcase our island's rich culture and heritage, and to underscore the significant advancements we have achieved for our people over the past 5 decades. We have come a long way from the unknown to where we are at today. We believe this summit presents a timely opportunity for the Pacific media to witness and celebrate these milestones, aligning with the overarching theme of this conference. We all look forward to your productive and inspiring summit, and are confident that the discussions and collaborations forged here will pave the way for a resilient and forward-looking environment for the Pacific media sector.
Plenary sessions commenced today on the topic of navigating media resilience, AI disruptions, and strengthening media in the region.
The Pacific Media Summit is the largest gathering of media in the region. It is hosted after every 2 years. The previous summit was hosted by Solomon Islands in Honiara. This summit will conclude on Friday. I'm Eliza Kukutu reporting for SIBC TV here in Alofi, Niue.
Prime Minister Honorable Jeremiah Manele is scheduled to visit the United Arab Emirates, UAE, and Saudi Arabia from the 30th of September to the 6th of October. Prime Minister Manele revealed this to local media during a press conference over the weekend. He said in Abu Dhabi he will open the Solomon Islands Embassy office and hold bilateral talks with Abu Dhabi authorities.
My final international travel commitments for 2024 are: 1. A bike-to-bike high-level visits to Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates and to Riyadh in Saudi Arabia from 30th September to 6 October 2024. Solomon Islands enjoy rapidly strengthening bilateral relations with the United Arab Emirates and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In Abu Dhabi, I will formally open our newest overseas embassy. I will also have high-level engagements with authorities in Abu Dhabi. Discussions will cover, among other things, the strengthening of partnerships and enhancing investments in Solomon Islands, including in areas such as transformative infrastructure investments, including in the tourism sector, as well as in the proposed or upcoming special economic zones in the area of renewable energy as well. As you know, Abu Dhabi is the host of the IRENA, that is the International Renewable Energy Assembly.
Prime Minister Manele said in Saudi Arabia he will sign a reciprocal visa arrangement with the Saudi government, which will cover diplomatic and official passports. He adds he will also hold bilateral meetings with the government and authorities in Riyadh.
In Riyadh, we will sign a reciprocal visa agreement with Saudi Arabia, covering diplomatic and official passports. This will facilitate travel and entry by holders of diplomatic and official passports from both countries. I will also have high-level meetings with authorities in Riyadh, exploring new areas of partnership, including the area of, again, transformative infrastructure investments in terms of airports, seaports, roads, as well as in the hospitality industry or hotels, as well as in investments in renewable energy, which is one of the key priorities of the government. We will also be discussing or looking at innovative financing models or modalities to support our transformational development agenda. The government of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has demonstrated over a short period of time its genuine interest to work with and to help Solomon Islands grow and achieve our development objectives through a mutually strengthening and beneficial cooperation between our two countries.
Prime Minister Manele emphasized GNUT needs to strengthen its relations with all diplomatic partners if they are to achieve their transformative development plan for the country.
Ladies and gentlemen of the media, the Government of National Unity and Transformation has a transformational development agenda. To achieve these objectives, the government needs to establish, strengthen, and consolidate transformational partnerships and cooperations with strategic partners that will help our country achieve our transformational development aspirations. In this respect, our relations with the United Arab Emirates, as well as with Saudi Arabia, are crucially important for Solomon Islands to achieve its development aspirations. Hence, the importance of my visit to these two countries at the end of this month.
The upcoming tours will make this Prime Minister Manele's third and fourth international tour as Solomon Islands Prime Minister since taking up the position in May this year. Solomon Ports refutes claims that it has increased its tariffs and port fees to its customers. Sharon Anau with the details.
Solomon Port says for the past 9 years it has not increased any of its tariffs and port fees to its customers. Solomon Port's Chief Executive Officer, Eranda Kotewala, said during the National Energy Summit held recently. Mr. Kotewala said there's a misconception among the public that Solomon Port's fees have increased drastically over the years.
But if you look at, there's a very big misconception going on everywhere. The port is a problem for everything. When the cost goes up, it's a port. It's not the port. So the last 9+ years, we are the only SOE in the country that has never changed, we've been keeping it static. So if you look at the increase of cost of our production, electricity, consumer goods, everything coming into the country, where is the hidden cost? And also there's a misconception that most of the time the freight cost or the agent's fees or the towage charges, everyone thinks that's port cost, because that's what the agents most of the time convey to the consignees. And this all paid to the ports, the port charges. There's something, if you look at, so I think I always request this, I think I made it very clear many times, but so if you look at the charges of, all the charges of goods entering into the country, whether it's fuel or whether it's commodities or anything else, I always request you to dissect all charges and look at how much you pay for the freight as freight charges, how much you pay for customs and maritime fees and other charges to the other agencies, how much you pay for the towage fees as towage charges, which is a separate business, not a port business, and how much is paid to the shipping agents, and how much you pay directly to the ports.
Mr. Kotewala says a lot of the fees paid by customers are not to Solomon Ports, but the cargo ship fees and other handling agents at the ports, such as customs.
1.7 million for fuel charges, especially for the diesel, and the rest is for the others. And on top of that, pilotage charges actually being charged to the vessels. So if you look at now, so this is the reality, but actually the misconception is the port is actually contributing to every increase. And 9+ years, the port has not increased charges. So that's something I want to make it very clear. So now if you look at we have aging infrastructure, if you look at the volumes are not growing, it's actually basically it's only about 1%, 1.2% growing. But if you look at the cost of doing business, cost of running a port, and with the 3.5 billion investment pipeline in the next 15 to 20 years, we still actually manage our ports better. But I'll give you one example. I think this is actually one of the importers recently, just some time back, met me and asked, actually, why does port charge this much to bring a vehicle? I said, bring me all the invoices. I'll show you actually who is the most expensive here. And he brought in all invoices and how much is the sea highway cost and what is the freight charges, what's the insurance cost. I said, this is not paid to the ports. It's paid to the shipping lines. How much you pay for the agent? $4,000 for a car when we charge only $350 to discharge one vehicle. And they call it as terminal handling fees. I said, what do you mean by term? So I said, oh, this is what is paid to the ports. I said, nobody pays to the port. What you pay directly to the port, that is called the port charges. It's not nothing else.
Sharon Nanau, SIBC TV.
The Pacific Freedom Forum, PFF, launched its first ever Pacific Islands Media Index in Alofi, Niue. Yan Kaukui, who is currently in Niue, filed the story.
The Pacific Freedom Forum launched the Pacific Islands Media Index in Alofi, Niue yesterday. The media index shows the ranking of various media in the region developed from data collected. Speaking to SIBC News, Chairman of the Pacific Freedom Forum and PINA Vice President Robert Iroga said the report is the first index to be developed by Pacific Island countries.
The launch yesterday about the first Pacific Islands Media Index there. Hemi rank him of the countries belum based on 12 questions where me fala raise him and hem come about him what outcomes were him important for the media. Usually, media freedom index belum hem come from overseas, from what global organizations or some Transparency International were doing, but dream of 4 or 3 countries, then compare them go Pacific hem now, but this one hem local in the sense that research carried out by Pacific Islanders on Pacific Islanders by Pacific Islanders. So now for the launch yesterday and first of its kind where we Pacific Island dream and you may hope by me dream yearly.
Mr. Iroga adds the index identifies some of the challenges faced by media in the region, including Solomon Islands.
Well, ranking out of 14 countries, imi solo middle, imi 8 na blame. In terms of media freedom, we rank from the first to the end to the 14 years. So imi solo middle 8 year. I'm not important that imi solo must hopefully by next time it will improve. But imi solo the common thing na to follow a law with political. Imi garem 13 respondents or 13 journalists to solo the reply. Okata say that ota laws blame him not protect good journalists yeah. And secondly, there's so much political interference. And political interference in the sense that some of the politicians ota no give opportunity or ota no treat media or somehow me like him. So in denying access, I think mostly access, yeah. By him meaning that by out stories where you like dig him or find him real truth lem, yeah. By him so take him, yeah. So that one him a big stumbling block for me and media freedom. Him big concern that one. Because leaders elected by the people, paid by people, they should be accessed by the people, yeah. Who you mean representing people for. So him solo, him hope by next time him improve where government blame me. Him is open up more media and him happy that the current Prime Minister he's more open about I think has held already 3 or 4 press conferences.
Yan Kaukui reporting for SIBC TV in Niue.
Prime Minister Honorable Jeremiah Manele is scheduled to attend the Commonwealth Leaders Meeting in Apia, Samoa. Honorable Manele says all Commonwealth heads of government will meet to discuss issues of importance to the world.
This is a very important meeting for us to attend. All Commonwealth heads of government will meet as equals to deliberate on matters of critical importance to the world, the Commonwealth, our regions and our countries. And this includes, we all know, climate change and sea level rise is on the agenda of almost every international meetings and regional meetings. The Commonwealth also has a very important youth agenda over the years. So that will also be an opportunity to take stock of what has been achieved so far in terms of its youth agenda, but also in terms of what the Commonwealth and its agencies are doing in the area of climate change, the environment, and other sustainable development issues. This is the first time that CHOGM, or the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, will be held in the Pacific, hosted by a Pacific country, a small Pacific country. The Prime Minister of Samoa, therefore, is in inviting all Pacific Forum leaders, stated that this is a Pacific CHOGM, so all Pacific leaders must attend.
Prime Minister Manele adds his attendance to the meeting is important as it shows Solomon Islands' support to the Pacific region. He adds Solomon Islands' hosting of the Pacific Island Forum Leaders meeting next year makes it crucially important that he shows solidarity with other Pacific Island leaders at the Commonwealth Leaders meeting.
As I've just alluded to, Solomon Islands will host the 54th Pacific Islands Forum Leaders meeting in 2025. Therefore, it is crucially important that I demonstrate solidarity with other Pacific Forum leaders, as well as to the wider Commonwealth world, that Pacific Forum leaders stand united in matters of global, regional, and national importance, which impacts on the lives of our people and communities.
Work is underway to have Honiara town 100% connected to renewable energy by 2030. Sharon Anau reports.
Work is underway to have Honiara town 100% connected to renewable energy by 2030. Ministry of Mines, Energy and Rural Electrification Permanent Secretary Dr. Christopher Vehe during the National Energy Summit said the roadmap for the ambitious target is outlined in the Renewable Energy Roadmap for Honiara. He said in efforts to reduce Solomon Islands' high electricity cost, the ministry has now ventured into the renewable energy sector as one of the avenues for energy sources for the country.
A renewable energy strategy, a policy, and promoting efficient use of energy resources and increasing sector sustainability, establishing a sound regulatory environment is very important. And we are looking at targeting 80% in the urban households with the targets that were set, but these are the information that we have now, where 80% in urban, 40% in rural households by 2025. We are trying to harmonize these targets going forward. And our target is for 100% renewable energy share by 2050. These are investment plans that are there, but renewable energy roadmap for Honiara was there. Thank you very much to JICA that helped us through with the support from Solomon Power, and the target is for 100% renewable energy by 2030 for Honiara Grid.
He said currently, with support from the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, they are piloting projects across the country aimed at developing proper renewable energy approaches and models.
We further want to increase renewable energy share in the generation mix and also encourage private sector investments in renewable energy. At the moment, with the facilitation of support from GEF by UNDP, we are piloting few projects across the country that is trying to aim at developing proper renewable energy approaches and models. We want to make sure that when we do a particular approach for a particular sector, we are careful that we don't assume that every other approaches will be ideal for every other sectors. The sector needs can be very, very challenging, and so it needs a very robust planning and researches in having this in place.
Dr. Vehe assures its stakeholders that the transition in the energy sector will be carried out in a cautious manner as the country relies heavily on renewable energy sources. Sharon Nanal, SIBC TV.
Australian Minister for International Development in the Pacific, Honourable Pat Conroy, has handed over the newly upgraded Aula Wharf to the Solomon Islands government. Mary Manilagoa with more.
The Australian Minister for International Development and the Pacific, Honourable Pat Conroy, has handed over the newly upgraded Aula Wharf to the Solomon Islands government. The $120 million Solomon dollar project has been delivered by Australia under the Defence Cooperation Programme and will extend the life of the wharf for an additional 30 years. Minister Conroy, in his remarks at the handover, says they are supporting the Solomon Islands maritime security capabilities through their long-standing partnership with the Royal Solomon Islands Police Force Maritime Force.
And that's why Australia, under the Defence Cooperation Program, is supporting the Solomon Islands maritime security capability through our long-standing partnership with the Royal Solomon Islands Police Force Maritime Force. It's a great privilege to be here today to be part of the unveiling of the newly upgraded Aula Wharf. This project represents an investment of 120 million Solomon Island dollars, and these upgrades will extend the life of the wharf for an additional 30 years. The upgraded Aula Wharf will ensure a safe and secure berthing for Solomon Islands Guardian class patrol boats, the Royal Solomon Island police vessels, Gizo and Taro.
Meanwhile, Minister for Police, National Security and Correctional Services, Honourable Jameson Tananganda, thanked the Australian government for the upgraded Aula Wharf.
On behalf of the Solomon Islands government, it gives me great pleasure and honor to officially receive the Aula Wharf upgrades handover from the Australian government. First and foremost, I want to express on behalf of the government and the people of Solomon Islands our sincere gratitude for receiving this infrastructure. Australian government has been providing support to Solomon Islands through the Defence Cooperation Programme for more than 35 years.
Mary Manilegua, SIBC TV.
The rise of social media comedians in Solomon Islands has gained momentum in recent years. SIBC News caught up with one of the popular comedians in the country.
The rise of social media comedians in Solomon Islands has gained momentum in recent years. 29-year-old Rodolphe Maniadalo is one of the local content creators who has attracted much online attention due to his comical skits.
At first, me can sadrim ota kan comedy actor lo personal account belum minuma Rodolphe. Me look him that every time he upload him lo ota personal account lo me friends, everyone me friends with him ota share him and then also comment and then got a lot of reactions. So go a friend of mine by the name of Rob, him come up with him the idea that I should create a page. So him approaching me one time, take me out to lunch there and encourage me and say, you have creativity in Osem, maybe you should make him a page for you type and then you share him everything online so that others can see it and others can also enjoy it.
Since establishing his Facebook page, Radsman Entertainment, in 2022, he has gained over 11,000 followers. Maniadalo told SIBC News that his comedy content is focused on life situations that audiences can relate to.
Mostly me focus on making comedies that have based on reality too. Me make fun of it. Daily issues below families and also love stories or complicated relationships. That thought two of us something where we can always make it for people looking because I think it's one of the issues for young people. So time looking at can looking or relate to it, they laugh a lot. But also me like for putung people for looking to that issues lo there, but then we make fun of it. So time people laugh about it, they're gonna think about it too. That yeah, that's another thing. But then also me making for people looking at smile, laugh, and also forgetting what the problems blota. Or whatever they're having a bad day. So, no platform me all about.
His growing online presence has reeled in opportunities, such as the chance to co-host the recent Honiara London fashion show. However, this has also exposed him to the downside of social media.
One of the most challenging thing we look at is you're gonna face with negativity coming from people, especially people online. But sometimes cyberbullying is one. People gonna make comments but not like him. It's part of it, yeah. But make him hatred thing too about him type. But no, actually like him, which you're gonna receive it too. Want something about him now, so me looking him negative about him. Dealing with negative responses from people type, you just gotta embrace it, yeah? Accepting that people gonna talk. Everybody's got something to say, yeah? Everybody's entitled for their opinion. But you are responsible for what you do himself. If it's good and if it's the right thing to do, and probably a big man too, if you do that straight, no ma, then you don't have to listen to what others say. That's how I overcome it. Me just ignore them and me not like respond to it. Because once you respond to it, but keep on dragging and trending one and people putting go fire light to mas go na, so just ignore it type. Focus on yourself.
Honiara encourages youth to use social media to promote positivity and share their unique talents.
Young people, we encourage them to use social media for positive things, not for negativity. Don't use it for you belittling someone, or you cyberbully someone, or you spread negativity to someone type. Use it for good cause and expose him talents below you, and also for making you see and do good for community too.
Mary Manelegua, SIBC TV.
And now the latest in sports with Crofton Utukana.
Smashdown Barres, in partnership with Honiara Table Tennis Association, will celebrate International Deaf Day tomorrow with students from the Special Development Center at Ripple Ridge, West Honiara. In-country program manager for Smashdown Barres and president of the Honiara Table Tennis Association, Kevin Olea, confirmed this to SIBC Sports.
Smashdown Barriers Disability Table Tennis Program, together with the Honiara Table Tennis Association, will celebrate and mark the International Deaf Day that is annually held on the 29th of September on annual date. But the Smashdown Barriers and Honiara Table Tennis Association, we decided to conduct and to mark this important day with the deaf students at the Special Development Center, Red Cross, Rifle Range, Honiara, on the 27th of Thursday. This day is our usual day where we deliver the Smashdown Disability Program. So together with the school principal and the teachers and the interpreters with the students of the Special Development Centers, we decided to mark and celebrate this day on the 27th of September. We are happy to celebrate that it's the first time that the table tennis and other sports are recognizing the importance and the inclusive practice of the people with disability, and more especially the deaf population of Solomon Islands. So definitely it's a first of its kind that we will mark together with the students.
Mr. Ole also mentioned that a team from New Zealand High Commission office in Honiara will be accompanying them to witness the event.
New Zealand Commission will accompany us on the Smashdown Barriers to witness and to be part of this event. So we'll have teamwork and a communication session that will take us for 10 to 15 minutes just to see the importance of communication and teamwork within the sports and off the sport as well, which will help the students, especially the deaf ones and the disability students, to practice teamwork and communication in and off the sport as well. And then later on we will do the competitions, just fun games, just to mark the day with the deafs and people with disabilities at the Red Cross Development Centers. So we will do the first session of the presentation of teamwork and communication within the students, and then we will do the fun games, and later we will finish with a refreshment and a group photos as well, just to mark that event.
And that wraps up your sports news. I'm Crofton Utukana reporting for SIBC TV.
And that's news. Follow us on sibconline.com.sb and our SIBC News Facebook page for more of our latest stories. Thanks for watching.